Hello and welcome to our election special. I'm Frank Rausan Pereira. West Bengal has emerged as a crucial state in these Lok Sabha polls. The state, with its 42 seats, is important in the scheme of things not only for the BJP but also for the Trinamool Congress and the Congress party, even as the left parties are desperately trying to gain back some lost ground there. West Bengal is going to polls in all 7 phases, with voting having been held already in 18 of the 42 seats. In the 5th phase on May 6th, 7 seats will go to polls, while 8 will go to polls on May 12th, and the rest of the 9 seats will vote on May 19th. So let's begin our special segment, Rajyanama.
आपका उत्साह बढ़ता जाता है, उधर दीदी की गर्मी बढ़ रही है।
हर साल 72,000 रुपए न्याय योजना दिलवाएगी।
এটা বাংলার মাটি নরেন্দ্র মোদীজি ভুল করবেন না, আর বাংলাকে তো আন্ডার এস্টিমেট করার চেষ্টা করবেন না।
Well, voters in 18 seats in West Bengal have already exercised their franchise in the 4 phases that have been held so far. The rest of the 24 seats will go to polls over the next 3 phases. The state has so far seen a fairly high voter turnout, with all 4 phases seeing over 80% of the voters cast their ballot. In the first phase on April 11th, the 2 seats of Cooch Behar and Alipurduar's recorded a turnout of 83.8%. In the next phase, 3 seats, Jalpaiguri, Darjeeling and Raiganj, went to polls, recording a voter turnout of 81.72%. 5 seats in Malda and Murshidabad went to polls in the 3rd phase on April 23rd. Their voter turnout was 81.97%. In the 4th phase on April 29th, 8 seats recorded an estimated turnout of 82.87%. All right, then let me introduce my panelists on the program today. Deepak, Diwan, editor of Northeast Sun, with us. Aarti, Jerath, senior journalist, and Akhilesh Suman, assistant editor of Rajya Sabha TV. Thank you to the 3 of you for joining me on the program. We'll also be joined by our correspondent Panchanan Mishra from the ground to get us live details from Hooghly. All right, first let me begin with Akhilesh Suman. Akhilesh, you've been traveling across the length and breadth of West Bengal. You know, you've been there for a few weeks now. So how would you look back at how the elections have progressed over phase 1, 2, 3 and 4?
You know, it is very interesting to see West Bengal now, because this is the time when Mamata Banerjee has been asserting herself as an alternative of Narendra Modi. In one way or other, she is trying to project herself as a leader of coalition in formation. She is also giving hopes to the people that Bengal may rule the center, and she is also trying to project that if there is any coalition, we will be having very important role. Earlier, you know, that nobody in West Bengal, it was the chance also only came to Jyoti Basu, and party denied. So this is the time that West Bengal is also seeing some aspirational leader from the state. And given the fact that, you know, that the type BJP is trying to inroad into the vacuum being created by CPIM and the other left front partners, it is really interesting for everyone that how far BJP can inroad in that vacuum. And that is why whenever I go to the villages or the towns, people express the hope only that whether we can go to the polling booth. This is everyone will tell you that whether we can go to the polling booth. And if you see the last 4 phases of elections, people have gone to the polling booth. Some people ask that, if people are going to the polling booth, why you tell that Mamata Banerjee high-handedness is there? See, why you can blame her that people don't go to the polling booth? Earlier, this was the accusation from all political parties. It is very seldom that political parties will converge together and complain against one party in the same voice. In West Bengal, it was happening. So I think what is the situation there, that every political parties have been going into competitive mode, that yes, our voters should go, and from there election commission also tried that yes, administration should not be in direct control of the state government. So both these things have really done a miracle, and I think people have turned out, and I think people are voting in whatever favor. Trinamool Congress is also doing very well. You cannot say that Trinamool people are not going to the polling booth, but equally Left Front, Congress and BJP are also trying to send their voters to the polling booths, and that is why you see that in every phase you see that there is an increased percentage.
Right.
So in that way, I think that West Bengal has shown that yes, people in competitive politics have gone up breathing ground, level playing field as far as the local management is concerned, and I think this is a good phenomenon.
Okay. Aarti, Jerath, how would you look back at the 4 phases of polling that have taken place in West Bengal thus far? High voter turnout we've seen in the first 4 phases.
Well, I'm very happy to hear, what he said, because, West Bengal is one of the states where we've actually seen some violence in all the 4 phases actually. So, which has given rise to fears that maybe it's not a level playing field and so on. So, I'm very, heartened to hear this. But yes, this is an extremely high stakes election, particularly for the BJP, because, the BJP is trying to break into a greenfield area. I mean, West Bengal is not a territory that the BJP really controls. It's a new player there, and they're trying to break into it. And they have been putting in a lot of effort over the last 5 years, with Amit Shah going there regularly, with Narendra Modi going there regularly, to make those inroads into this, bastion, which was once the CPM's and now is Mamata Banerjee's. So it's, I think for the BJP, it's very important, not just because it's a greenfield area, new territory, but also because they're hoping to make up for losses they may suffer elsewhere, like say in UP. They're hoping to make that up in states like West Bengal and Orissa, both of which are new territories for them. So it's become very high stakes, and we're seeing actually Narendra Modi putting in, I think West Bengal is one of the states where he's campaigning really intensely. And it's becoming an absolutely personality battle between him and Mamata, with both of them, hurling all kinds of charges at each other, which is, contributing to the emotional pitch, the high emotional pitch of this election. But, I still feel that I think Mamata Banerjee has a considerable hold in Bengal. I don't think it's going to be easy to dislodge her this election. I think the BJP is definitely going to increase its vote share, but that vote share is coming at the cost of the left and the Congress, not really at the cost of Mamata Banerjee. Mamata Banerjee's own vote, which is 40% plus, is pretty strong. And, for the BJP, they would have to cross a threshold of 35% really to see their votes converting into seats. And, so I think a lot depends on how much the left and the Congress collapse in these elections. I mean, if they collapse completely, I think the BJP will do, much better than Mamata Banerjee thinks they're going to do. But if they don't, and they manage to hold some ground, then I think the BJP's seat, strike rate will be restricted.
Right. So the vote share will go up, but the seats might not correspond along with the vote share, is what you're suggesting. They probably have to go beyond 30 or 35% of the vote share to actually convert that vote share into seats, is what you're suggesting. Deepak, Diwan, first 4 phases of the elections. We'll talk about the next 3 phases later on in the program. But first 4 phases in West Bengal. What stood out, if anything, for you?
Well, I think first I agree with both of them, Aarti as well as Akhilesh, that there is a new force in the election we have seen. That's the BJP. If I go by my own experience of the State Assembly of Tripura, where everybody said, like Aarti is saying, that it's difficult to dislodge Mamata Banerjee. Everybody said this was difficult to even think of dislodging left there. But we were all shocked, surprised. The assembly of 60, BJP gained 35 on its own and plus the ally. And that was a sea change we saw in Tripura. And in fact, when the Tripura State Assembly results came, it sent jitters to Mamata Banerjee because she knew that she would be challenged. Of course, this time it's not the assembly election, we are having the parliamentary election. Nevertheless, but the kind of contest she is facing now is really a very stiff contest for her. And the thing is, BJP had got 2 seats last time in Parliament, Lok Sabha. Now we have to see how many seats BJP can increase and how many seats Mamata Banerjee can retain. Whereas the other parties like Congress or CPIM is there, I don't think they are the force now. It's a direct contest between Congress, BJP. TMC and BJP.
Right.
And BJP, like they worked in Tripura, quietly, grassroots level. I spoke to some of the BJP leaders. They said we have done that kind of work in West Bengal. Now let's see, the result. When the results come, they might show you some, amazing, figures.
Right.
And the thing is, another thing we talked about, you are talking about the last 4 phases. One major change we saw, SS Ahluwalia not contesting in Darjeeling and shifting his base to now Berapoor, Durgapur, which is considered as his in-laws' place. But nevertheless, because see, the thing is, West Bengal, because of the stand Mamata Banerjee took, people thought centre would bail them out. But they could not.
Right.
Centre could not. With the result, SS Ahluwalia was not feeling comfortable there because he's been facing the people's ire there.
Okay.
So that's why he shifted his constituency.
Okay, let's look ahead now to the next 3 phases of polling. Of course, there are 7 seats in the next phase, and then the other seats will go to polls on the 12th and the 19th of May as well. Panchanan Mishra, our correspondent, joins us from the ground right now in Hooghly. Panchanan, as far as West Bengal is concerned, what are the issues on the ground for the next 3 phases?
Frank, as our guest talked about the issues, first issue is that the issue of violence. As Akhilesh ji has mentioned that this is the first time when voters are freely coming to their polling centers and trying to vote. Because we talk to many voters, the voters here, the people here don't want to come on camera. But without camera, they wanted to talk so much. And they are saying that this is the first time in 2000 when they are now feeling free to vote. But there is some fear also from the Trinamool Congress. So this time the mood is quite very good, and the voters are coming in very good numbers to vote. But as we have mentioned that we are seeing only 2 forces here. It's a direct contest between BJP and Trinamool Congress. And in many places we gone, but we didn't recognize their Congress and CPM. They are fighting or not. And because one thing is also in the air that both Congress and CPM workers are talking. If there was an alliance, then it may be a better picture for the CPM as well as the Congress. So CPM is regretting more that they should have an alliance here. But certainly Amit Shah is doing 2 rallies here in Hooghly today. And there we have seen a massive crowd was there. There was cheering. And here candidates are not mattering. I think this is the first time, or it maybe it happened in last also. But this time there is a direct contest between Mamata Banerjee and Modi. Some people don't know even BJP, but they know Modi only. So the voting is now going in favor of Narendra Modi. Candidate is not mattering so much. The issue of the violence is there, so due to that violence, Election Commission has now decided that in last remaining 3 phases, there will be 100% paramilitary forces will be deployed. No West Bengal police will be.
Okay. All right, Panchanan Mishra, there seems to be a problem with the line there. We'll try and reconnect with you, but I'm going to take forward some of the points that you are making, of course, on violence, a personality battle in West Bengal between Prime Minister Modi and Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee. Akhilesh Suman, as far as the issues are concerned, are the people talking about national issues? Are the people talking about the persona of Prime Minister Modi? Or is it local issues really that are mattering to them on the ground?
People there talk about one major issue, and that issue is democracy. And you will be surprised that on the issue of terrorism, West Bengal people are not very much, sensitive, because there is a different type of society. West Bengal has a different type of society, and even the divide between communities also not have been very bad. So there has been a better homogeneity among the society, irrespective of different community have a very good influence. Democracy is one issue that is influencing everyone, and people will talk to you irrespective of their class, that sir, we should go to the polling booth, and it is a very big issue for the people who could not go and vote. So it's a very big issue. One big issue is that. Another big issue is that of development. And what Prime Minister Narendra Modi is trying to focus, that Mamta Banerjee is a roadblock in development. West Bengal is a huge population, bubbling population you will see everywhere, and people are unemployed. So they will raise the issue of unemployment everywhere. And as far as the infrastructure is concerned, people will say that yes, Mamta Didi has done something, and you will see on the roads that she has made good roads. The welfare schemes, whatever welfare schemes, either from the center or state government adopted the central schemes in her own way and then reformatted it, so it has gone. But the major issue that industrialization of the state, employment opportunity, creation of employment opportunity, and finally the culture of violence because people feel threatened.
Right.
So these are the three issues that is there in the mind of the people, and it will be interesting to see.
And that's why the Election Commission is holding these election in these 42 seats
over 7 phases.
7 phases,
Right.
so that there are adequate forces and there's no scope of violence. Little bit happens everywhere, but the
Right.
thing is, they have taken all kind of precautions so that a voter comes out of his home and goes to polling booth without any obstruction.
Okay. All right. Let's now go across to our data center where my colleague Tina Jha is standing by to give us some numbers.
Well, thanks, Frank, and welcome to our election data center. So since we are talking about the state of West Bengal today, let me tell you once again that 7 constituencies, Arambagh, Bengal, Berapoor, Hooghly, Havra, Sri Rampur and Uluberia go to polls in the 5th phase on the 6th of May, that is Monday. Let me now tell you which party stood where in terms of vote share on all these 7 seats in the last 2 Lok Sabha elections, that of 2009 and 2014. So in 2009, Arambagh was won by Shakti Mohan Malik of the CPIM. He got a little more than 54% of the votes polled. The Congress party came in the 2nd place with 37% votes, while the BJP was at a distant 3rd with only 5% votes. The Bengal seat was won by Gobind Chandra Naskar of the Trinamool Congress with 50.69% votes. Now here, the CPIM candidate stood 2nd with 42% votes. The BJP was in the 3rd place once again with about 4% votes. In Berapoor, Dinesh Trivedi of the Trinamool Congress emerged the winner with 49% votes. The CPIM got 6% votes less than the TMC and was the runner-up on this seat back in 2009. The BJP's vote share here as well was 3.5% in the 2009 general elections. The Hooghly seat also went to the Trinamool Congress in 2009 with its candidate Dr. Ratna Dena getting 49% of the votes polled. The CPIM candidate's vote share was 7% less than the winning candidate, while the BJP got 3.4% votes in Hooghly 10 years ago. The Havra parliamentary constituency, which has 7 assembly segments under it, was also won by Ambika Banerjee of the TMC in 2009. 48% votes were polled in favour of the party, while the CPM candidate got 44% of the votes. The BJP's vote share was 4% in Havra in the 2009 general elections. In Srirampur, TMC's popular face, Kalyan Banerjee, won in 2009 with 53% votes. He defeated his nearest rival, the CPIM, by nearly 13% votes. And back then, the BJP's vote share in Srirampur was 4%. Similar results were seen in Uluberia also in 2009. Sultan Ahmad of the Trinamool Congress emerged victorious with 50.92% votes. Now, the winning margin here between her and the runner-up CPIM candidate was about 10%. But 5 years later, in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections, the Trinamool Congress wrested, in fact, the only seat, the Arambagh seat, which was won by the CPIM in 2009. Trinamool Congress's Aparupa Poddar won here with a thumping majority, claiming 55% of the total votes polled. CPIM's Shakti Mohan Malik, who had won in 2009, lost the people's mandate this time around, and his vote share came down to just 29.5%. The BJP here maintained its third position, but in fact the party improved its vote share from 5% to nearly 12% in 2014. In Bengal as well, Kapil Krishna Thakur of the Trinamool Congress emerged victorious with 43% votes, while the CPM stood second with 31.5% votes. Now on this seat as well, the BJP improved its vote base considerably, going up from 4% in 2009 to 19% in 2014. Trinamool Congress's senior leader Dinesh Trivedi continued his winning streak in Berapoor in 2014 as well. Although this time his vote share came down by nearly 4 percentage points from 49% in 2009 to 45% in 2014. Here the CPIM got 26% votes. The BJP's vote share went up massively from just 3.5% to 22% in 2014. The Hooghly seat was also retained by Dr. Ratna Denag of the Trinamool Congress. Her vote share also came down from 49% in 2009 to 45.5%. The BJP went up to 16.4% from just 3.4% 5 years ago. Trinamool Congress's Prasoon Banerjee won the Howrah parliamentary seat in 2014. He got 43% votes, while his nearest rival, the CPM candidate, got 25.9% votes. The BJP once again managed to get 22.05% of the total votes polled and retain its third position here as well. Kalyan Banerjee, although retained Srirampur in 2014, his vote share came down drastically from 53% to 39% in 2014. While 28% of the votes were polled in favor of the CPM, the BJP upped its vote share here as well from 4% in 2009 to 22.3% in 2014. So a significant rise in its vote base in Srirampur as well. While in Uluberia, TMC candidate Sultan Ahmad registered victory for the second time in a row in 2014. Her vote share came down by 2%. In fact, 31% votes went to the CPM, while 11.56% votes were polled in favor of the BJP. So in the 2009 general elections, what the figures tell you is that 6 of these 7 seats were won by the Trinamool Congress. 1 seat, that of Arambagh, went to the CPIM. Now let me tell you that this seat was a pocket borough of the CPIM for several decades. The CPIM's Anil Basu won the seat 7 times consecutively from 1984 to 2004, and in 2009 his colleague won the seat. But in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections, the Trinamool Congress broke into the left party's bastion of Arambagh and wrested the seat from the CPIM. So in the last general elections, the TMC emerged victorious on all these 7 seats that go to polls in the 5th phase this time around. And what these figures also tell us is that between 2009 to 2014, the Trinamool Congress improved its performance in the state of West Bengal, which took the party's tally to 34 of the 42 Lok Sabha seats in West Bengal in the 2014 general elections. The CPM lost a significant number of seats, but what it did not immediately lose was its vote base. And as the numbers indicate, you must have seen that in all these 7 seats we've spoken about today, the CPM's vote share did not come down drastically. So on all of these seats, the CPM stood in the 2nd place. And also the third party, the BJP, improved its vote share on almost all of these seats between 2009 to 2014. Its vote share went up from single digit two double digits in most of the parliamentary seats that we have spoken about today. And this time, the party is locked in a direct contest with the Trinamool Congress, emerging as a strong contender, not just on these 7 seats that we're talking about, but on several of the 42 Lok Sabha seats in the state of West Bengal. Frank.
Right, Tina, thank you for taking us through those figures and numbers there as far as the 7 seats that go to polls in the 5th phase of polling on May 6th in West Bengal. Talking about one of these 7 seats, of course, is Barakpur Lok Sabha seat, which will vote on the 6th in the 5th phase, and the seat is dominated by Hindi-speaking jute mill workers who have a major influence during election time. The issues surrounding these factory workers are likely to dominate in this seat. Let's take a look.
Berapoor in the suburbs of Kolkata is situated on the banks of the Hooghly River in North 24 Parganas district. Barakpur is now known for its jute mills, but historically it holds a significant place in the revolution of 1857. 35% of the population in this seat are Hindi speaking, mainly belonging to UP and Bihar, who work in the jute mills.
Mainly ये इंडस्ट्रियल बेल्ट है, तो ये इंडस्ट्री ठीक से चले, जिससे कि इधर का जो लड़का अनएम्प्लॉयड है उसको एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिले, क्योंकि अभी अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट एक बड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो गया है बैरकपुर शिल्पांचल या और पूरा देश में।
चाहिए सबको खाना पीना ठीक से होना चाहिए, घर मकान मिलना चाहिए गरीब आदमी का, और क्या होना।
जब कानून बनाया गया हम लोगों ने प्रोविडेंट फंड में कि कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लेबर को भी फ्रिंज बेनिफिट देना होगा, रिटायरमेंट बेनिफिट देना होगा, यानी पीएफ ग्रेच्युटी ये सब देने होगा, तो वो वाउचर में आ गए, यानी रोज भर्ती करना, रोज निकाल देना और पैसा उनको दे देना। तो उनको फ्रिंज बेनिफिट जो 34% टोटल सैलरी का होता था उससे बच गया मालिक। तो अब वही लड़ाई है, मेन लड़ाई।
Dinesh Trivedi has won the seat in the last 2 elections and is in the fray this time too on a Trinamool ticket. He is up against a one-time close aide and now BJP candidate Arjun Singh.
यहाँ जो एक तुष्टीकरण की नीति चल रही है उससे बंगाल के लोग बड़ी नाराज हैं। तीसरी यहाँ सबसे बड़ी समस्या है कि दीदी का जो परफॉर्मेंस है वो दिखाने का कुछ और है और होने का कुछ और है। उन्हें हाथी के दांत वाला हाल है, एक दिखाने वाला एक खाने वाला।
सरकार जूट बैग को व्यवहार करने चाहते हैं, जो प्लास्टिक बैग है ना। अब देखिए हम लोग जो चीज धान बोलिए, चावल बोलिए, राइस बोलिए, वो तो जो भरने का जो प्लास्टिक बैग था वो तो सरकार उठा दिया, हम लोग का मुख्यमंत्री ममता बनर्जी उठा दिए। अभी तो जूट बैग व्यवहार करने के लिए बहुत सा जूट मिल में ऑर्डर देते हैं।
Since 1952, the seat has seen a direct fight between the Congress and the CPIM. But ever since the Trinamool Congress overthrew the left government in the state, the Lok Sabha seat has also gone to the party. Panchanan Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, we'll take a short break now, but on the other side, we'll take a closer look at all the 7 seats that are going to polls in the 5th phase on May 6th, and we'll talk about the downfall of the left front in West Bengal as well. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Watch In Depth with me, Tina Jha, at 6 p.m.
अशोक तंवर जी का एक फैक्शन है, हुड्डा जी का एक फैक्शन है, कुमारी शैलजा कुछ और चाहती हैं। तो लड़ाई लीडरशिप की है, लोगों की लड़ाई नहीं है।
कोई पार्टी में फैक्शनिज्म नहीं है। कांग्रेस पार्टी का एक असूल है, कांग्रेस पार्टी की नेता है सोनिया गांधी, राहुल गांधी, बाकी ये पदाधिकारी रहते हैं, बदलते रहते हैं।
जाट जो एजिटेशन है उसका कोई इम्पैक्ट आप इस चुनाव में देखते हैं?
उसमें कितना जान माल का नुकसान हुआ आप अंदाजा नहीं लगा सकते। उस जान माल के नुकसान के लिए पूर्ण रूप से हरियाणा सरकार जिम्मेवार है।
तो कांग्रेस के पास ऐसा कौन सा वायदा है जो पूरा होता हुआ आप लोगों के बीच में लेके जा रहे हैं?
कांग्रेस ने जो कहा वो किया। किसान है, किसान का एक कलम से 72,000 करोड़ माफ किया।
कि if it is Prime Minister Narendra Modi, then against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is the person?
कि राहुल क्यों नहीं होंगे प्रधानमंत्री? काबिल है राव प्रधानमंत्री पद के।
इस बार देखिए खास मुलाकात हरियाणा के पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा के साथ सिर्फ राज्यसभा टीवी पर।
स्थायी समिति की रिपोर्ट देखिए संसद 24/7।
देखिए विशेष मेरे साथ आज शाम 7:30 बजे सिर्फ राज्यसभा टीवी पर।
नेता बेशक राजनीति करें, लेकिन जनता का तो असली मतलब होता है अर्थनीति से, यानी वो नीतियां जो हमारी जेब पर असर डालें या फिर सुविधाओं में इजाफा करें। कैसा है भारत का आर्थिक वातावरण और क्या है हमारी चुनौतियां? सरल भाषा में आपके ये बुनियादी आर्थिक मुद्दे आप तक पहुंचाने के लिए राज्यसभा टीवी ने शुरू किया है ये खास कार्यक्रम अर्थनीति।
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television, Rajyanama, with me, Frank Rausan Pereira. Aarti, Jerath, so what is it that we look forward to in the next 3 phases of polling in West Bengal, more importantly, the 5th phase on the 6th of May?
Well, you know, the elections have now moved from the north of Bengal to the south of Bengal. And South Bengal is actually the TMC's stronghold. That is where the TMC virtually, sort of swept last time. And, and as your number cruncher showed, I mean, in the next phase, they won all the 7 seats. So we're really moving into Mamata Banerjee territory now. And, what I find very unfortunate about what is happening in Bengal with the rise of the BJP is that a society which has lived in a fair amount of harmony, whether between Hindus and Muslims or between Hindi-speaking populations and Bengali populations, there are cleavages now that are appearing. And I remember in my last trip to Bengal, which was 2017, I'm going there again tomorrow, so I get a better idea of the ground. But in my last trip in 2017, I found that this cleavage was already there. The Hindi-speaking population and the sort of Bhadra Lok of Bengal in the urban areas, they had turned to the BJP in substantial numbers. But the Bengali-speaking people, the Bengalis, and particularly the poor Bengalis in rural areas and so on, they were still very much with Mamata Banerjee. I think over the last two years, the BJP has tried to, widen this cleavage, deepen this cleavage. And I don't know to what extent they have succeeded. It's a very sad thing that has happened actually, because in Bengal, we've seen these communities all live side by side. They practice each other's, the Bengali Muslims, for instance. I mean, they wear sindoor in their hair. They celebrate Poila Baishakh along with the, because it's a cultural thing rather than a religious thing. They even participate in Durga Puja celebrations. So, you've never really seen that kind of communal tension. which is now manifesting itself in the last 2 years. And I think that is a really sad thing that has happened. And you know, this is partly a result of Mamata Banerjee's sort of very overtly pro-Muslim or Muslim appeasement politics, and partly a result of the BJP's polarization politics. So, you know, the two have come together and, you know, that's what's creating
it's a heady mix,
these,
basically.
Yes, it's a heady mix, actually. And, you know, we can see that Mamata Banerjee now is trying to make up for her image as a Muslim appeaser, because now she's sort of started celebrating Ram Navami and, you know, so on, which, you know, Ram Navami is not even a traditional Bengali festival. Bengalis celebrate Durga Puja. Ram Navami is actually a North Indian thing. But, you know, suddenly now it's become a big thing in Bengal, and you find that, you know, the BJP started it, and now Mamata Banerjee is following suit. So, you know, there's this sort of, you know, sort of funny competition that is going on in Bengal, which is not a healthy thing for a society which has lived in fair amount of harmony with, you know, different kinds of groups and religions.
Right. Yes, Deepak,
I
you want to add
remember even
something?
the court had to intervene when she said we will not allow Durga Visarjan on the same day. The court had to intervene, if you remember.
Yes.
But yeah, Aarti, you know, in the Assam we have this NRC process on National Register of Citizenship. It is being upgraded. When this thing came up, she was the first to react. Mamata Banerjee reacted because she wanted to please the Muslims in West Bengal, all our voters. And she even tried to send a delegation to go and meet the people there in Assam, which was not permitted by the government, state government there. But you know why she is being accused, and in fact because it is because of her actions, even the local population, they are blaming her for you know, creating this kind of situation where the people have started feeling that the chief minister is pro-Muslims, not pro-Hindus. It's her own doings.
All right. Akhilesh Suman, you were on the ground, Barakpur and other places as well. What is the situation there? I mean, is religion, culture and all of this a big issue for the people?
Actually, I went to Barakpur and met both the leaders there, Dinesh Trivedi and Arjun Singh both. I could find time to roam around with them also separately. You know, Dinesh Trivedi is a very veteran politician. He had been awarded with, you know, best parliamentarian of last year. Yeah. But given the fact that the type of politics Trinamool does in West Bengal, he also had some conflict with Mamata Banerjee. You might remember when he was the health minister and he was told to step down, he was hesitating, we cannot do like this. But anyway,
Railway Minister.
Railway Minister.
Yeah, and he had to step down immediately after presenting the budget.
Right. So in that way, Dinesh Trivedi is different. He doesn't gel very well in the Trinamool culture that has come out recently. And Arjun Singh, you can say that Arjun Singh was one of the major muscle man of Mamata Banerjee in that area, and now Arjun Singh is away. So when you talk to Dinesh Trivedi, he will tell that these are the people who actually, you know, vitiate the whole atmosphere of you know, election and all. So now there is a regret in Trinamool that how they could lose Arjun Singh, and now Arjun Singh is in BJP camp. Arjun Singh's main strength is, you know, that closure of jute mills. Because Barakpur was a, you know, bubbling industrial center where it is a cosmopolitan culture. People from different, you know, states were there, and they are still there. And Arjun Singh is trying to, you know, develop them for their own benefit, his own benefit. And other than that, Arjun Singh has also hold on those elements who, you know, control the polling machinery. So it is a really tough time for Trinamool in that place, and I think that Dinesh Trivedi will be having very tough challenge.
Right.
But other than that, I will tell you one more thing, Frank. If you go to Barakpur and other areas, you know, you should not discount left front. And one of the major thing, if you talk to any political party there in West Bengal, they will always take care that left front should not increase. They think that left fund should be put under thumb in any way. And I went to there also when cheat fund scam was there in, and I went to many places in West Bengal, and it was the left fund which was in the guise of other organizations, frontal organizations, not in the name of CPIM or any forward bloc. They were working against the whole cheat fund scam. So their network is very strong still on the ground.
Okay.
Only problem is that whether they have the resources that can match BJP and Trinamool there or not.
Right. We'll talk about whether the left front should be written off or not in just a bit. But before that, you know, a battle of personalities is clearly on in West Bengal. Whom does this suit? Mamata Banerjee or Narendra Modi?
I think both. I think both rely on their larger-than-life personalities, you know, to kind of dominate the political landscape. I mean, you know, Narendra Modi is an extremely strong personality and a very powerful orator. But I think Mamata Banerjee matches him. She speaks in Bengali, of course, and I did attend one of her meetings in Hooghly during the 2017 assembly elections. And, you know, just like Narendra Modi connects with the crowd, so does she. I mean, she's standing on the dais and she's, you know, calling out to people in, you know, on the treetops or, you know, in the back rows and gesturing to them and telling them sit down or telling them to come forward. And, you know, I mean, she has the same connect with the crowd as, you know, we find Narendra Modi does. And she is a very powerful and strong orator as well. So, I mean, in this kind of a personality clash, I really don't know who can emerge as the winner. She has, you know, one thing, you know, he did mention, I think that I'd like to talk about it a little bit, is this electoral machinery that runs in Bengal, you know, and this is something that was developed by the left front to perfection. There are these groups, these gangs, these football clubs, you know, that manage areas under their control. They manage all the activities. And they have the patronage of the local councillor, the local MLA, the local MP. And in return for that patronage, they help them out at election time. And I think one of the reasons why Mamata Banerjee managed to storm the left bastion after 34 years of left rule was that a lot of this machinery had crossed over to her side. You know, as I said, the CPM Gundas crossed over to the Trinamool. And today they are under her control. Now the point is, in Berapoor, clearly, you know, the BJP has managed to win over one such important, you know, election manager. You know, the point is, how many more such election managers have they managed to win over from the Trinamool to dent Didi's bastion?
Right. All right. We'll continue our discussion right here in our studio. But before that, let us go across to Tina Jha in the data center once again to talk about the decline of the left in the state of West Bengal.
See, Frank, the fact is that the left front was an invincible force in West Bengal, but in the past two elections, both national as well as state elections, it has, of course, been the biggest loser as well. The TMC wrested power from the left in 2011, ending its more than 3-decade rule in the state. And ever since, the electoral fortune of the left parties has declined drastically. Their vote bank has seen massive erosion in the last few years. Let me show you how the left parties performed in the 2009 and 2014 general elections. In 2009, the CPIM emerged victorious on 9 seats. The CPI got 2 seats, the All India Forward Bloc also won 2, and the Revolutionary Socialist Party also got 2 seats. So together, they won 15 of the 42 Lok Sabha seats in West Bengal. In 2014, the CPIM lost 7 seats. So coming down to just 2 seats in 2014 from 9 in 2009. The CPI drew a blank, losing both the seats that it had won in 2009. The All India Forward Bloc as well as the RSP also came down to 0, losing both seats that they had won back in 2009. In 2009, the CPIM had got 33.1% votes, which translated into 9 seats for the party. Their vote share, in fact, the CPI's vote share was 3.6%. The All India Forward Bloc and the Revolutionary Socialist Party got 3.04 and 3.56% votes respectively. So together, these parties got a little more than 40% of the total votes polled in 2009. But 5 years later, in the 2014 general elections, the CPIM lost more than 10% of its vote share. So it came down to 22.96%. The CPI's vote share also came down to 2.36%. The All India Forward Bloc and the RSP also lost votes, coming down to 2.17% and 2.46% respectively. And the combined vote share of these four parties in 2014 stood at 29.95%, which was more than 13% less than what they had got in 2009. Back to you, Frank.
All right, Tina, thank you for taking us through those numbers once again. Deepak, Diwan, what's the left front story in West Bengal?
Left front, you can say is left behind. I mean, I won't be wrong.
Okay.
I mean, the election results will show. I mean, your percentage has shown how their percentage has declined, and in terms of seats also. You know, see, the thing is, surprisingly, India is the only country now we have the communists here. I don't think communists exist anywhere else other than, you know, North Korea or, you know, some pockets. But China, you know, because China is a different, you know, game all playing together. Yeah.
I think that can be left for another discussion at another time.
Yes.
But talking about West Bengal, yeah. So is the left, you know, is the left's loss directly the BJP's gain?
See, actually, the main reason for this is the last parliamentary election when they allied with Congress.
Last assembly election.
Congress and CPIM had an alliance.
In assembly.
In the assembly.
In the assembly.
Yeah, yeah. You know that they lost support in the ground level because all those workers, those who for years they used to fight physically or, you know, do everything to defeat Congress, or Congress workers fighting with CPIM workers. So they have told one day they got a shock.
So the same can go for the Congress as well.
It was called, yes, both of them. It was called unholy alliance. So I think they are yet to recover, both of them. From this.
Akhilesh Suman, you've spoken to many left leaders in West Bengal. Do they have a revival plan? What is their strategy really? And what is the internal assessment as far as the left front is concerned?
I talked to the Secretary of West Bengal, CPM also, and, you know, he is simply telling that I cannot tell you the count, that how many seats we are going to win. But normally they are very, you know, confident about one thing, that we can increase our votes here because of four-cornered, you know, context in West Bengal. They are feeling that their old election machinery will be revived to some extent, and because of failure of the Trinamool Congress on the ground level to giving, you know, voice to the people, there is a fighting in Trinamool inside. I am telling you one thing, Abhijit Banerjee, who is considered to be the nephew of Mamata Banerjee, he is running the Yuva Trinamool, and there is a difference between Yuva Trinamool and main Trinamool Congress. And you know, main Trinamool Congress people will complain to you that this Yuva Trinamool, they don't allow us to work for the party, and he wants to get the full control of it. So in that case, there is some sort of internal bickering inside Trinamool Congress, and it is very visible. Everyone will tell you that this phenomena is going on inside West Bengal. So when this phenomena goes on, some Trinamool also will go down, and who will be the beneficiary? BJP will not be beneficiary everywhere, because BJP structure down the line is not so strong as left front structure is there. Left front structure is intact on the ground. Their people are there, and people who are fleeing Trinamool, they are going both ways, one BJP, another left front. They are not going to Congress in that way, because Congress, you know, there is a mindset of Congress in West Bengal that who will go to Congress. But those who will leave Trinamool, they will go to either BJP or they will go to left, because they are comfortable in both the places. They had been with the left earlier, and they will get a proper respect in BJP also. So this is the two thing. Another thing that if you are asking about the how left went haywire, you know that the time when Jyoti Basu was offered Prime Minister seat, this was the highest time of the left front, and when they rejected this, the whole cadre morale went down. And after that, you know, that there is an aspirational thing, you know, that left is also aspirational.
So since
left is
then,
for power,
since
you know,
then it has not recovered, is what you're suggesting.
They could not recover.
Right.
And one last thing I am telling you, that when you talk to the left front people, you will see the aging people on the leadership. If you go to Trinamool, they are young people, good, you know, robust people, young people, they will shout. BJP also is the same, that they have comparatively young masses. But left problem is also that they are all aging people, and they are not allowing the young people to grow.
Right.
So that is the major problem. That
Akhilesh, you know, along with the CPIM,
yeah,
there's another party which is trying to create a basis, which is known as Socialist Unity Center of India, Communist.
SUCI was there for a long time.
But you know, but they are going to cut whose votes? CPIM's.
They have their own pockets. Actually, SUCI is for a long time. They never went into the left front also.
Right. I'd like to bring Aarti in also, into this particular discussion. But all this having been said, can the left front be written off in West Bengal?
Well, I mean, if we see the history of the left front in India from the time of independence, when we became independent, the left was actually quite a strong force, and it had pockets of influence across the country, in Punjab, in Andhra Pradesh, in Bihar,
Tamil Nadu as
in
well.
Tamil Nadu, if you remember, it was Maharashtra, And over the decades, we have seen the left decline everywhere. And finally, they were just squeezed to two states, Bengal and Kerala. And then they lost Bengal. And now, even in Kerala, I don't know whether how well they're going to do in these elections. So actually, the left is really on a decline. And I quite agree with Akhilesh about this, grey hairs in the left leadership. Because again, in 2017, when we were talking to people on the road, and we asked them, what about the CPM? You don't want to vote for the left? And they said, "Sab buddhe hain," like they're just old leaders. They have some really good, bright young people, but either they throw them out because they ask too many questions, because they don't like dissent. They're a very Stalinist kind of disciplined organization.
They don't play ball.
Or they don't allow them to come up. So, you see all these really crusty, grey-haired men who are ruling the roost. And, you have a young voting population. I mean, 2/3 of your voting population is under 35. So, surely the leadership must reflect that, that trend in the voting population. And I think this is one of the really big problems for the left, that they do not have a younger leadership to project in Bengal.
Right. Okay. So, quick closing comments from all the three of you on what to expect in the next three phases in West Bengal. Starting first with you, Akhilesh.
That in the next three phases I think that voter percentage will go up. The type of voter percentage you are seeing in the first 4 phases, it will remain or may go up, because the people are coming out. And if people are coming out, they will tend to come out more. So I think this is the major silver lining in West Bengal politics and election this time, that people from every political parties are going to the polling booth, they are voting. And I think post-voting, telling people that you sit your home, we will take care of your vote. It was the general message. So I think this thing is not happening this time.
Deepak, Diwan?
Well, I think we are heading for some great surprises in West Bengal in terms of, the party, whether Mamata can retain or she loses, and how many seats BJP can gain further. I think it's going to be a
interesting times ahead is what you're suggesting. We'll have to wait for May the 23rd to see what exactly happens. Aarti, Jerath, close the show for us with your concluding remarks.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be a historic election in Bengal, whether Mamata Banerjee wins or the BJP actually manages to make the dent that they're hoping to make. So this is going to be a game-changing election for West Bengal.
Okay, a game-changing election for West Bengal is what the panelists here are suggesting, and we could have some surprises come May 23rd is what the unanimous consensus here is. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Rajyanama. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on the program and sharing your views on the elections in West Bengal. With that, it's a wrap. See you again next time.